Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Women Unleashed. And today I'm doing a little solo episode because I feel like there is so much that has happened lately since, I started the Women Unleashed podcast last year, just over a year ago. My life has completely changed, from a space where I was really, really down, going through a really bad heartbreak, to feeling lost in my life, not knowing what to do, to now being a lot more settled, happy in myself and healed. So I just wanted to give you all a little update on everything, how things are going in terms of health, love life and everything else like that. So we are now in March, and I think March last year, I was in a pretty rough patch. I was going through the breakup, the heartbreak. I was healing. I was spending a lot of time on my own. I wasn't interested in dating. I wasn't interested in just anything at all. I found it really hard to be on my own at the time, and fast forward a year, I'm in a much better position in terms of health. This time last year, again, I think it's because I was so down. Things weren't going well either. I was experiencing really bad gut issues. I still had my Hashimotos, obviously, but it wasn't under control. I'd experienced big bloating episodes. I was swollen all the time, and things just weren't looking great. Whereas 1 year down the line, I'm still suffer with Hashimoto's, but it is better well managed, should I say. So a lot has changed, okay? And I want to kind of run you in a chronological order, should I say, of kind of what I did during that time and how things have changed. So rewind, should I say, to last year. Obviously we were going through the healing process, okay? So I spent the first 6 months healing, kind of trying to figure out what I actually want from life, what I want to do. I stayed in Dubai up until April, then I went back to Marbella, stayed there for the summer, and then I went to Morocco, I went to Miami. I travelled quite a lot. I used last year as a year for myself to do things what I wanted to do, because I had the freedom to do it. So I was like, why not, Yes, I wanted to save. Yes, I wanted to look at buying property. But at the same time, I was 25, 26. I wanted to do things that a 25, 26-year-old does, okay? I wanted to see the world. I wanted to travel. I wanted to experience different things. And I did exactly that, I took myself out of my comfort zone after being in a relationship for almost 2 years. I was spending time with someone all the time, to being complete opposite and spending time on my own. Stayed in Miami for a month completely on my own, didn't know anybody, and then going into the autumn, I thought, right, well, what do I do now? I kind of went back to Marbella for a little bit. As you can see, my life was very hectic. I was here, there and everywhere, living out of suitcases, and I love that. I love that I could do that. I'm grateful that I was able to do that. However, I felt very, very unsettled. And, there was always that uncertainty of, what do I do next? What am I going to do? Where should I be? I never knew where I wanted to settle, hence why I travelled so much. And then eventually, end of last year, December, I thought, you know what? I'm going back to what I know and go back to Dubai. And moving to Dubai wasn't easy, because the last time I was in Dubai was with my ex-partner, so life was very, very different. Whereas now, I've made new memories on my own with my friends. So Dubai is now home, and I feel much more settled. I know where I'm going to be. I know that I'm staying here for the foreseeable unless anything changes. Now, when it comes to, feeling a bit lost in your life and not knowing what to do, I think it's really important to just bite the bullet and just go for something and choose. The reason why I couldn't choose where to stay is because I always used to think, well, what if that's the wrong place? What if I actually, I won't meet the love of my life if I settle in Dubai? What if the love of my life is in, I don't know, Germany, Holland, Spain? Do you know what I mean? I didn't know, and I was so scared of the unknown. I was so scared that what if I make the wrong choice? What if I make a mistake? And you've got to remember that no choice that you make is a mistake, okay? It always drives you in a certain direction. Your life has so many paths, okay? No matter which path you choose, it will all end well for you. So you're never going to miss out on something that is actually meant for you. And that's what you all need to remember, okay? If you're struggling to make a decision in life, or things aren't going how they're meant to, you're meant to be going through that process. That's what's meant to happen, okay? So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it. I'm going to settle here, and I feel so much calm and so much ease. Now, during the period where obviously I was travelling about, living out of suitcases, it was, oh yes, it's nice. It's lovely to stay away in different places and travel, and experience different cultures. But it was causing my body a lot of stress, purely because I didn't know where I was going to be, how long I was going to be there for, sorry. So it was, without me thinking about it, it was causing a lot of stress on me. Now, thinking about it, if your body's constantly under stress, whether you know about it or not, it's going to have an effect on your health. okay? Whether that is mental or physical. Now, me suffering with Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease of my thyroid, for those of you who don't know, I got diagnosed 2-3 years ago. That for me was really important to keep my cortisol levels down, okay? I got diagnosed with chronic stress last year, maybe just over a year ago, from living such a fast-paced life, okay, working constantly, working 7 days a week, little sleep, going to the gym, training, traveling, like constantly on the go. I'm that sort of person that I can't sit still, and it's a really, really bad habit, and it's something that I'm working on. I can't relax. I feel like when I relax, I waste time. Okay, and there's always things to be done. And it's a really bad mindset. In a way, it's good because you stay motivated and you get things done, but at the same time, you run yourself into the ground. So I ended up running myself into the ground a little bit. My body was just so stressed. I was always anxious, and it was causing me no good for my health. Yes, I still have an underactive thyroid. Yes, I still have an autoimmune disease, but a lot of things have changed in terms of how I deal with it. So I'm still gluten-free. Dairy was something that I still incorporated in little amounts. However, as of probably, I'd say, September last year, I've cut it out completely. And since I've done that, my inflammation has reduced massively. I always thought that gluten was the culprit of my inflammation, but dairy is just as bad. Okay, so for anyone that suffers with Hashimoto's or autoimmune disease, cut out gluten and dairy. Yes, it might be difficult in the beginning. Yes, sometimes I wish I could have it. Do I sometimes eat it? Yes, I do. When I'm in a restaurant, I'm like, oh, you know what, just forget it because there's nothing else I can have. And I will suffer the next day. And I know I'll suffer, but I still choose to do it, okay? So do as I say, not as I do. Cut out gluten and dairy if you suffer with anything like that, arthritis, any autoimmune disease. It will help massively. Other things that I did as well was I incorporated a lot of relaxation techniques. Okay, so I do my meditation every morning, I do my gratitude, I do my journaling, I do my breath work, things that will calm my nervous system, cold showers, etc. All these things are so good for you to do. Now, I'm not saying incorporate them all straight away. Do little bits, so maybe just 2 to 2 and do them for 21 days until it becomes a habit, then add another one in, and you will see it will change your mental clarity massively. Like, I notice when I get out of the routine of doing it because I'm traveling or I stay out somewhere, whatever, I notice that I don't feel as good. My mood declines massively, and as soon as I get into a routine with it, I feel so much better. So having a good morning routine especially is major. Now, I've spoke about my disease, my autoimmune disease, for a very long time, and those of you who have followed me on Instagram since day dot, you will know the whole journey that I've been through, and it's not been easy. However, I am still not down to the bottom of what is actually causing it, okay? Now, every disease has a cause, okay? There's always something that will cause it. It won't just appear out of nowhere, whether it's gut problems, whether it's stress, whatever it is, there is always a cause. Now, with Hashimoto's, what I've done is a lot of research. I've spoke to a lot of people, I spoke to a lot of practitioners, a lot of doctors, holistic doctors as well. Now, one of the main things that I always try to keep out of my mind is my breast implants, okay? I got my breast implants done 3 years ago, and this is when all my issues started. But at the same time, I moved to Dubai, so I moved countries, big life changed. I stopped competing a few months prior. There was a lot going on during that time, and there is something called the breast implant illness. Now, it is very common. There's not enough research done into it, but it's basically your body rejecting the implants. It's a foreign object, okay, causing autoimmune disease. Now, I've been trying to ignore this for a very long time because I love my implants. It's my confidence. It's my personality. I don't want them out. I said to myself, if I don't fix my body till end of 2024, I'll get them out. We're now in 2025. I still don't want to get them out, okay? I'm still determined to find the answers and see what is actually going on rather than just blaming implants. Yes, they're probably not the best thing for you, but if I can keep them in and get healthy, I will. I will try everything, okay? So another thing that we're looking into at the moment, and I thought I'd share this with you all, is mold toxicity. Basically mold in your body, and this can come from anywhere. This can come from living with mold. Like, for example, if you're working in an old hospital, there's mold around you, you're inhaling that mold toxicity. It could be heavy metal toxicity, okay? Heavy metals are in a lot of things. They are in your deodorants. They are in your makeup. All these things, if your body gets disrupted, your hormone disruptions, it's just end of it for you. It's basically the end. Like, no, I'm joking. You do need to look into other aspects. You can't just assume that, it's coming from your illness is coming from like nutrition or training or a busy lifestyle. It could be mold toxicity. It could be that I've got mold in my implants. That can happen as well. It could be that I lived somewhere that's had mold and I've caught it, and now some people are more susceptible to it than others. There's a HLA-DQ gene. HLA-DQ? HLA-QDA? Can't remember exactly. I'll tag it in the show notes. That some people have, genetically, and those people are more susceptible to catching things like mold toxicity, heavy metal toxicity. The smallest of things will affect you, okay? So if I went through a really stressful stage and then I lived somewhere, for example, because I moved about a lot, one of these places could have had mold in it without me knowing. And it just affects your body in a whole lot of different ways. Mold can actually cause autoimmune disease. It causes inflammation, it causes fatigue. It has very much similar symptoms to things like hormonal imbalance and Hashimoto's, etc. Like, all the symptoms are very, very similar. So mold toxicity is really good to look into, and I'm planning on getting my testings done when I go back to the UK in a few weeks' time to kind of see what it is. And if that is the case, then from there I will try and fix it. Try to get rid of the mold, excrete it from my body, and then from there we'll see, right, if things improve, great. If not, there's other things that I can look into. And if things don't improve then, once I've trialled everything, that is when I'll potentially look at getting my implants out. And it's a journey, it's not something I want to do, but at the end of the day, I want to be healthy. The pain that I'm going through and how not comfortable I feel and how I can't gain muscle and I just look inflamed, like today even, I'm just swollen in my face, and it's hurtful. Like, some days I try to ignore it, but it's your face, you can't hide it. My body's just not the same. Like, I don't feel like I can get to where I want to be with my physique. And, people look at me, and it's funny because I don't really get bothered by things like this. I've had a few reels go viral on Instagram, and it was like a Gym Girls 2024 video, and it's me taking the mickey out of basically gym girls, myself included, taking pictures in the gym, training in front of boys, or like wearing really, really short shorts on your videos. And basically on that video, you can see half my bum cheek, and the comments in there are insane. People like, oh, you need to start training, your art isn't great. But what these people don't know is that I've got an autoimmune disease, which is an invisible illness, and I struggle to gain muscle now. Yes, I might not look how I used to 3 years ago. Yes, I'm still only 26 turning 27, but it's not the same. Like, if you have a disease, that your body just doesn't work the same. And these people are writing all these horrible comments. I'm not bothered by it, because I'm just like, you're literally trolls in a waste of space, and you clearly can't take a joke. But like, it's still not nice to hear, like, people just assume that, oh, maybe she's lazy or she can't get in shape when she doesn't know how to train. It's not. My body just doesn't correspond with what I'm trying to do at this moment in time. So I've had to knock down my training to 4 for like 3 years now. I don't only do 4 days a week. I used to do 5. I used to do a lot more. My body can't take it now. So things have changed massively. And as I say, yes, I still suffer with the same health problems as I did last year, but I have a lot more knowledge on it. I manage it very well differently. And I'm doing a lot more things going forward to change them and to work on myself. And coming back to kind of the health being the most important thing, I have spent thousands and thousands of pounds on my health, looking for answers, different tests, different medications, different practitioners, okay? It's a lot of money, into the double-digit thousands, I would say, and I'm still nowhere near finding out my answers. But why do I keep doing this? Is because my health is the most important thing to me, okay? If I'm healthy, I know I can live longer, and I love my life, so I want to live long. Whereas what really annoys me is, when people are stingy about the health and they don't want to invest in themselves or the health, but they'll go out on the weekend and blow £200 in one night. It's like, you're doing things to kill yourself. You're not doing things to actually make yourself healthy. You're not doing things to prolong your life. That really, really annoys me. And some people might feel triggered by this. If you're somebody that goes out on a weekend, spends £200 on food and drinks, but you won't pay £30 membership a month, or you won't invest in a coach when you actually feel really unhappy and overweight with yourself, you really need to do something about it. If you feel triggered by this, this is you, and I'm talking directly at you. Because at the end of the day, if you want to live long, you need to be healthy, whether it's for your kids or for yourself or for your family. You need to do something about it. So that's me done with my little tangent, but it needed to be said because anyone that knows me well, whether it's my clients or my friends, they know I'll speak the truth. Even if it's brutal, I will say what I think. So going back to kind of my life in general, how it's changed from last year to this year, I've set a lot of more boundaries, okay? Yes, I'm still not the best at setting boundaries. especially when it comes to my clients, because I just always love to help people. But I've stopped saying yes to everything. I used to be a yes person. I used to always say yes to everything because I didn't want to let people down. I always wanted to be there doing things. I used to get FOMO, whereas that was never good for me. I was always super, super busy. I was always doing something, and I've learned to say no now, and my life's become so much easier because if I don't want to do something, I'm not going to do it. I don't feel pressured to do it, and I feel like that is a huge part of who I'm becoming now. You know, I'm learning more about myself. They say your frontal lobe develops at 25. I'm turning 27 soon, so I feel like in the last 2 years I've matured a lot. A lot has changed in my life. I've learned a lot about myself and who I am as a person, you know, even to the point where I still get pushed? Yeah, I do still get a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Not pushed about by other people, but people do take advantage of me, and that was my biggest thing. You know, I used to do everything for everybody, whereas now I'm trying to get a little bit better, but I still forgive way too easy, and that's part of my personal development for this year, to not be as much of a pushover. That's the word I was looking for, because at the end of the day, I look stupid then. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've cut off a lot of friends in the last year or so. And when I say a lot of friends, I've got a very small circle now. And I really think about who I associate myself with these days, because not everybody's your friend because they want to be your friend. People are your friends for the wrong reasons, and you soon find out who them people are. So as of this last year, that my perspective, my concept on friends has changed massively as well. As I say, I feel like I've grown up. I've just developed so much more as a person. And in terms of the relationship side of things, which I'm guessing people are like, oh, what's happening? Are you on the dating scene? Are you dating anybody? No. The simple answer is no, I'm not. I'm finding it really difficult at the moment because I feel like no matter who I meet, their intentions aren't there, or they sell me the dream and then they don't follow through with what they say. I feel like a lot of men these days have too many options, and they're distracted and they don't want to commit because, you know, they're too scared to commit, because what if something better comes along, you know? What if Project 2.0 is better? And, you know, you invest a lot of your time into someone. And with myself, if I like you, I like you. If I don't, I don't. Like, I don't have that in-between stage. If I like you, I love you. If I don't like you, I'm not interested. And I find that whenever I find somebody that I actually do like, it just never ends up how I want it to end, you know? I feel like I'm still, you know, I'm still an anxious attachment style, but yet I'm still attracting these avoidance. So there's more work to be done on myself. So yeah, dating life's not going great. And some days I do have the moments where I'm like, oh God, I'm 30 in 3 years. Like, I need to hurry up and find somebody, but there's no time frame. Like, who says you need to have a partner by 30? Yes, you might want to for the reasons of having kids, and you wanted to have kids younger, which I do, but there's no need to put pressure on yourself. Now, dating, yes, I've been dating, going on dates, seeing people, you know, getting to know people. I enjoy it. I enjoy getting to know people. I find out a lot about myself, but I still have that attachment of, I feel like I get lonely. I'm a relationship type girl, you know. To all my relationship girls out there, like, that's me. I'm one of you. You know, yes, I do have my moments where I love being on my own. I enjoy it. I'm like, I have the freedom. I can do what I want. But then I do miss my Sunday boyfriend, you know. Maybe I just need a Sunday boyfriend. Maybe that's the case. No, I'm joking. But yeah, dating life is still non-existent, you know, still not with anyone. I've been single now for like 16 months maybe, which is a long time. You know, I went from being single for 3 years to in a relationship for nearly 2 to now being single for a year and a half, and life has changed, but it's taught me a lot, and I feel like it's part and parcel of the journey. It's part of the process, and I feel that it will come when I least expect it, just like it did last time. But it's about not overcomplicating it and not putting pressure on yourself, and actually just letting life be and letting life flow, because what is meant for you will find you, no matter in what way. It will be the weirdest, strangest way you could ever imagine, you know, but it will find you, and everything's aligned and everything will come in the right time, just when you need it. Because, you know, you might want something now, you might want a relationship now, you might want kids now, you might want that job now, but now is not your time. Because when the time comes, that will be the right time, and it will be so much better than if you would have had it now. You'll appreciate it more, and things will just work out far, far better. So that's kind of a life update. Actually, I'll give you one more update. So obviously I lived on my own, then I lived with my friend Emily, then I lived on my own again, and now I'm living with my best friend Ista. And you know what? Having a good friend around you is so important, because when I used to have the wrong friends around me, I used to feel sad, or sometimes on my own I'd feel sad. I don't cry anymore not as half as much as I used to, mainly because I'm healed more or less, and also I've got the right person next to me. She always makes me laugh. We're always laughing, so it's really important to find that one person. You don't need to be friends with everybody. That one person who's going to always have your back, make you laugh when you need to. But yeah, we are living our best life at the moment together in Dubai. It might not be, I always say about social media, you might see, oh, it's all this amazing stuff. It is, but it's also hard work, and we work hard to get here. But it's super, super nice to have her by my side and, be in a different position than I was this time last year, where I was on my own and suffering a little bit. So life has definitely got better. If you listen to the first episode of the podcast that I ever did at the beginning of 2024, it's called 2023 Exposed. The things that I say there and how I sound and how I look compared to now is completely different. Like, I feel like now I can say it about myself. I'm gloating. I'm happy. My tone of voice has changed completely. So if you haven't watched the first episode or any of the others, I do advise you to go back and watch, and you can see the transformation in myself, and maybe you can relate to it as well. But thank you so much, guys, for tuning in on this week's episode. And if you have any ideas of what you would like me to cover, who you would like to see on the podcast with me as a guest, please drop it in the comments below, okay? And I will see you guys in the next episode.